Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. And shout out to Colt that's been waiting here for a while. Ugh, just getting my cats in. There we go. Okay. So what are we going to do today in LMU? Let's look at the dailies.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Good evening, gents."
Good evening, Sir Justin. How are you today? I am not going to do that. Okay. What's in the hosted? Wow, nothing much. Practice for
Justin Slim Friesen says,
GT3s.
"Doing well, and you?"
I am doing really well. Kind of scared of things that are coming to YouTube. But other than that, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, well, this is bummer. Seems like I might have to host something, but let's go and practice on a track before I host something. What track do I feel like running to dies? Not Rickards. I don't like this track. Not that yesterday I had a bad result on it, but it's just not. I haven't run this track in quite some time.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Sup guys?"
Hey, good evening, Mike. How are you? I haven't run Algarve either in quite some time. What else have I not done? Well, yeah. Sebring, obviously, but maybe this is what I need to do. Yeah, let's stay with this car. Okay, let's
Mike
check
Wolf
to see.
BLN says, "Just fancy IMSA at Nords, was raining."
Ah, your favorite kind of races. Everybody's favorite kind of races in the rain.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Brave man."
It ain't so bad once you kind of get
Mike Wolf
used to it.
BLN says, "P5 and LMP2 and P7 overall cause all but 3 GTPs died XD."
All but 3. Yeah, I'm guessing the GTP is iRacing's version of hypercars. Okay, let's check setups here. Oh, I actually have some versions for this car here. But I didn't have any assigned loadouts, so let's load one. Let's assign it and see how this goes.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Yeah, exactly, it's what IMSA call hypercars."
Let's move that back a bit. Okay, hopefully everything's working because I had to unhook everything up today. There's a lot of cars coming. Choo-choo train. Is there room for me? Nope. Always has to be a yellow Corvette. Why? These guys are so rude.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "So funny though going though the GT3 traffic on Nords in the rain."
busted. Okay. Let's just say it's because of cold tires. Ooh, I got no rear wing here. Ooh, okay. I definitely must have another one that has more rear wing. Me not like losing the rear like that. But aren't you tired of doing the Nords? Seems you've been running that track now for 2 weeks. Yeah, I think the last time I did something like that was Interlagos.
Mike Wolf BLN says, never.
One week I had Interlagos on Trackalicious, and then the week after that was ZRL. For 2 weeks I was practicing Interlagos.
Justin Slim Friesen says, blasphemy LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says, it's my boo. Mike Wolf BLN says, H ha 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 ha.
Blasphemy? Really? Okay. Well, even if it's a track that I like, sometimes I get tired of running it. I can't do that no more. Run the same track over and over and over again. Not like I'm getting any better at it. I never get any better. I say that, but it's not true. But let's just say that the...
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, I understand. But I was training for this week, the last few times.
Yeah, like I said, I ran Interlagos for 2 weeks, but I'm in no hurry to do it anytime again, even though I love the track. I'd almost rather do Bahrain for a while. I say for a while. I'll probably maybe do it once and get fed up of doing it and be happy to go back to Interlagos.
Justin Slim Friesen says, 24 coming up.
I mean, there's a challenge on iRacing that's 24 hours, really? You need to have a team for that, don't you?
Mike Wolf BLN says, N24 was 2 weeks ago. Justin Slim Friesen says, what is the practice for then?
I keep busting me car. Why is there no aggressive?
Mike Wolf BLN says, I don't race much anymore, so I'm a little off pace compared to my I rating.
Oh.
Mike Wolf BLN says, but I gained 250 IR in the last few days.
Well, I hope that's a good thing.
Justin Slim Friesen says, okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm kind of also trying to sometimes work on my driver's rating, but I think I'll wait until next week. Seems like there's a better rotation of maps. I should probably keep doing records. That was good for my rating yesterday, but man, do I not like racing on that track.
Mike Wolf BLN says, even in P5 I lose -5 I rating in top split.
Dang. Okay, well, you're
Justin
just too
Slim
good of a
Friesen says,
driver.
I'm way off pace for my rating as well. With GT3.
Yeah, you guys are too good of a drivers. That's your problem.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, me too. Justin Slim Friesen says, SFL. I'm right on target. Mike Wolf BLN says, GT3 in e-racing is highly competitive.
That's good.
Justin Slim Friesen says, you ain't kidding, Mike.
Man,
Mike Wolf BLN says, I haven't driven SFL in a while.
okay. Maybe my brake bias forward gonna help. Keep losing my rear.
Mike Wolf BLN says, but I'm 2,753 IR again so far this week.
I ain't good in math. It's all numbers. I ain't good with the alphabet either, so no matter what I do, I'm not good at stuff.
Justin Slim Friesen says, that's pretty dang good. Well done. Mike Wolf BLN says, Basili, that's like gold 1 in LMU driver ranking.
Alright. Well, I mean, I guess there's some advantages that you can drive some new cars now that you weren't allowed to before. I hate that kind of stuff because I'm not good. Can you imagine if I had needed a gold rating instead of a safety ranking to be able to drive the hypercars? I would have been so miserable for so long.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I have a 4.99 safety ranking that's Platinum 3. Mike Wolf BLN says, a class can drive everything. Justin Slim Friesen says, I would have guessed S2. Maybe S3. Mike Wolf BLN says, well, a 4.99 is the highest possible in e-racing.
Has that ever
Justin Slim
changed?
Friesen says, DR I meant.
Has that ever changed? Like, did it used to be something else and then they moved it up? And so on and so forth? I'm guessing when the game came out, it went through a couple of changes.
Mike Wolf BLN says, so in e-racing they have R, C, B, A. Mike Wolf BLN says, R equals bronze and W equals platinum basal Cali. Mike Wolf BLN says, I forgot about W, which means real world.
Really? Okay. And what does that do, real world? And touching the grass on this track is lethal.
Mike Wolf BLN says, that's for access to pro events.
Okay. Whoa, I'm still losing the rear. Okay. How not to lose the rear? Oh, well, definitely need to change that. Braking seemed to be okay. Didn't check my tire temperatures. Can come up a bit. Let's try that. Whoa, car. Yeah, you guys are just too good. Whoa, 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 man. God, I hate following
Mike Wolf
GTs.
BLN says, "Oh no, I get my ass kicked quite a bit."
Yeah, I know, but I mean compared to me.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Mike is a level or two above me with that rating."
Well, both of you are a couple of levels above me, so... You guys are hurting my ego.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Yeah, but you probably kick my ass in GT3 unless it's North/Bathurst XD."
Well, at least I didn't lose the rear there. Just wasn't able to turn.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "Maybe. But I suck at GT3. Especially on iRacing."
Really? I have a hard time believing that.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Jeeps, every time I think I am fast I suffer ego death on erasing XD."
Well, I know I'm not fast. I have just one secret weapon, and that's to outlast my competition. If I can outlast my competition, then that's a good thing for me. But I cannot outpace my competition. Ooh, I can't turn again, dang it.
Justin Slim Friesen says, "I really should pull my brake pedal out and set up a proper two-stage. I engage the ABS far too much."
Well, we were talking about that the other day. And you kind of left me confused.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Yup, do it."
And you kind of left me confused there about that.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Some of those guys are so damn fast, but I remember one thing my friend told me years ago." Justin Slim Friesen says, "Too much work. LOL." Mike Wolf BLN says, "We are only ever racing ourselves."
Well, I don't think I'm even racing myself. But whatever. But yeah. See, we were talking about that the other day, Justin. Like,
Justin Slim Friesen says, LMU is fine to use ABS. iRacing, the ABS hurts you.
Ah, okay.
Justin Slim Friesen says. And yeah, Mike. 100%.
Okay, because yeah, the last time we were talking about it and I was in a GT car, and I was like, I wonder if removing the ABS would help me. And then you told me in theory it would make me slower. And then I see you here, well, I need to not get onto the ABS, but okay, it's game specific. It's an iRacing thing. But I'm still not convinced.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yeah, ABS overheats the tires and then you lose time.
Okay, well, see, I'm still not convinced. Because everything I've ever heard about LMU is that traction control is not gonna harm you. I've never heard anybody
Justin
talk about the
says,
ABS.
even in iRacing, without ABS you will be slower. But it wrecks the tires.
Okay.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yep.
Okay.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Micro lockups, wears the tires out.
Well, yes. But so does flat spotting, so, I don't know. I didn't stay long in the GT3 the other day to actually fool around too much with it.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Exactly, and they don't come back after it. Justin Slim Friesen says. In LMU, there's no, or very little micro lockups.
Oh, okay. I guess we have better brake pads and stuff. The cars are just built better. Not using none of that Brembo crap.
Mike Wolf BLN says. They are there but they don't affect the tire as much as iRacing's model. Justin Slim Friesen says. More so the way the game is coded to handle tire temps. Mike Wolf BLN says. Yup, exactly.
Well, that's just a fancy way of saying what I said. I ain't educated like you folks. I guess you feel it more with your pedals too, Mike. Since you have those adaptive pedals both for the throttle and the brakes.
TBH, I just watch smart people talk about it and then parrot what I heard.
Yeah, I try that, but I get it all wrong because my memory ain't so good.
Justin Slim Friesen says. This is the sad reality of many years watching sim racing. LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says. Yup. Mike Wolf BLN says. With my pedals, LMU is the best for feedback.
Yeah, but you're talking about micro
Mike Wolf
lockups.
BLN says. Erasing only gives ABS.
So yeah, the ABS is what we're talking about here with the micro lockups. I'm thinking that you feel them better because of your pedals, so you're more aware that the game does it a lot. You don't feel the traction control or the wheel slip or loss of traction on the throttle?
Mike Wolf BLN says. It's not only ABS cars that suffer it though. Mike Wolf BLN says. Not in erasing.
Really? That's weird.
Mike Wolf BLN says. In LMU and ACC, ACEVO.
Well, iRacing just sucks, doesn't it then? Okay, well this car is handling better now.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Yeah. It's not that iRacing has more ABS, just the way it affects the tires is detrimental. Mike Wolf BLN says. They don't give the TC, wheel slip, or wheel lock data like other sims, only ABS.
Well, the wheel lock, that you would also feel it on your brake pedal, but on the throttle you could feel the TC or the wheel slips for spinning. I did not know that. I thought iRacing was the god of all sims.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, because the wheel lockup is so important. Especially for somebody like me.
Mike Wolf BLN says. I heard they are not sharing the data as they don't want other sims to rip it off.
Well, that's just stupid. Pardon my language. Well, R Factor pretty much have all of their stuff nailed down, but I don't know about Race Room and Ren Sport and
Mike
Project
Wolf
Motor
BLN
Racing.
Says, 100% agree Jeeps 1005. Mike Wolf BLN says. Percent.
Well, like I said, I don't know about Ren Sport and Project Motor Racing and Race Room and those games. As far as coding go, I know that R Factor pretty much have their own thing going, so don't need to copy anybody else. Whoa! that was not good. What's my braking ratio at? Oh, okay. Got the rears locked up there. Everything else I would like to save. Maybe you'll go up there.
Mike Wolf BLN says. So LMU/refactor give out the data, that's why the pedals can read it and give the feedback, for active pedals, shakers etc.
Oh, it's not the same. I thought I was overwriting something. Okay, so let's assign it to this one. Actually, let's delete this. That was crappy. And I forgot to put a V here. Let's save it. Let's assign it, and let's delete this one. It gets confusing. There we go. Brake ratio. And all the little changes I made here. Ooh, actually, my tires were running a little bit hot. Okay, time for a smoke screen here. So have you guys heard any good rumors or anything good or bad about anything? Like I heard that my local Grand Prix is going to be very bad. Mainly because all the F1 problems that we had in the beginning of the season are going to return. They just weren't there for the Miami race because the track is so different.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Oh Canada.
Whereas Montreal is a drag race. You got a straight, then a chicane, then a straight, then a chicane, then a straight, then a chicane. So not many places to regenerate the brakes or the battery, and one car will overtake, and then on the next stretch the other car will overtake. So a lot of people are saying that the yo-yo is going to come back in Montreal, but then we might have some rain. Apparently we are going to have some rain for this race, so that always creates chaos. And I also heard that BYD wants to buy a team in F1 now. The Chinese electric company wants to buy an F1 team.
Justin Slim Friesen says. It's a very good track, not quite great, but very good. Mike Wolf BLN says. Yeah, Crete Yen Horner. Mike Wolf BLN says. And bid.
The thing is that apparently F1 wants to go back to gasoline engines. So why does an electric car company want to get into F1? I'm so confused. It doesn't take much to get me confused. Why do they do that to us?
Mike Wolf BLN says. Because money, and advertising.
Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. I thought they wanted to supply an engine, and that's what got me confused. I didn't even look at it. I just saw the thumbnail, and I was like, this has to be a joke.
Mike Wolf BLN says. I say let them in, I'm sick of take gatekeeping bullshit cough F1.
Well, a lot of people have been mentioning that...
Justin Slim Friesen says. I doubt they'll ever get rid of hybrid completely.
Well, that's what they were talking about, going back to V8's gasoline engine only. By the way, I redid the livery on this car. But yeah, I was saying people are saying that they need to get rid of the manufacturer things and just have privateers being able to have a one-car team, not necessarily have two cars. I mean, you always hear these kinds of rumors. You never know really where it's going.
Justin Slim Friesen says. I want F1 to be more gatekeeping. As in I wish they never changed from the early 2000s. LOL.
Well, there was a lot of teams in the early 2000s that I didn't like. Like, basically anything that wasn't in the top 3 teams, I didn't like.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Nah, that was the time when I stopped watching it.
Yeah, kitty cat, you're not going back out. Not until I finish my stream.
Mike Wolf BLN says. But I get it, we all have our era that we got into things.
I just think that they complicated the plumbing way too much. The one thing, I don't know about all the manufacturing and stuff, but...
says. Me too. But you get my point. This appeasement BS is the problem.
I just want them to make the cars smaller. Like, I don't mind active suspension, I don't mind the ABS and the traction control. I don't mind if the wings fold and unfold, as long as the driver has
Mike Wolf BLN
control
says,
over everything.
Yes, cars are too big.
Yeah, just like these prototypes are too big. I get confused in them.
Mike Wolf BLN says. And cost is too high for smaller teams.
Well, that's relative because apparently Honda is getting like 200 million bucks to help them out. Like, I wouldn't consider Honda to be a small team, but apparently they are. Having issues with Aston Martin. What am I doing here? This is not what
Mike
I
Wolf
want to do.
BLN says. Yeah, the budget cap is 200 million.
It's all crazy. I didn't even check the weeklies in the championship. Oh, Imola. Ooh, 24 minutes. Anybody registered?
Mike Wolf BLN says. $215 million USD.
That's a lot of monies. Ew. Yeah, let's practice here on wet tires to see if I actually have a loadout for this.
Justin Slim Friesen says. That's 750 million Canadian dollars. LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says. LOL.
Yeah, basically our money is worthless. Our country has printed so much money in the past decade, it's not even funny anymore.
Mike Wolf BLN says. In a 2027 it'll be a cool billion. Mike Wolf BLN says. Ha ha ha.
So I do have a version here. I forget if the W meant wing or wingless.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Or one average priced house hey Jeeps.
Don't remind me. 6 months
Mike Wolf
ago I lost
BLN
my
says.
house.
JFK.
It's crazy. Everything's getting so bloody expensive. Like today I did my...
Mike Wolf BLN says. Oh man.
Yeah, today I went and did some
Mike
groceries.
Wolf BLN says. Yet and peep are getting so cheap.
Today I went to do my groceries and it's like, oh.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Well, in other news.
Yeah, in other news today I went to do my groceries and it cost me 30 bucks than my usual weekly, bill. I'm like, oh, that ain't so bad. Then I get home and realize that I forgot to buy so many things. I'm like, oh man, this ain't
Mike
good.
Wolf BLN says. I might have to go to the Oompa Loompa land in a few weeks.
So yeah, I move into this apartment complex and one of my neighbors, you don't know what he said today. He told me to get rid of my cats. He says you're not allowed to have cats. And it's true. Currently the law says that you are not allowed animals or pets. The thing is that last year it was announced that on the 1st of July people will be allowed to have a companion animal.
Justin Slim Friesen says. A man after my own heart. LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says. What law? Justin Slim Friesen says. JK.
So, well, in an apartment, the law was that you are no longer allowed to have any pets. They passed that law about 10 years ago. It was challenged at the Supreme Court. It was deemed illegal. So they're changing the law to allow it on July the 1st. But we've known that the law is going to come back to normal. So when I rented here, the owners know that I have animals. And it's okay. You know, I've had them for 20 years. Well, my oldest one's been around for 17 years. So yeah, I can keep him.
Justin Slim Friesen says, really? That should be up to the property owners. Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, they can't force that shit on people.
Well, they can force whatever they want to, apparently. During the Freedom
Mike Wolf BLN says, Justin Slim Friesen exactly. Mike Wolf BLN says, especially when you have them 20 YRS.
So, my neighbor's upset. He's like, no, you should have had them killed, and when the law changes, you get some new cats. And he's like, well, if the law's gonna change, I'm gonna get myself a dog
Mike
just to
Wolf
chase your
BLN
cats.
says, who's the idiot that passed that law?
So, you see the kind of neighbor I got? He doesn't even want a pet for company. He just wants to get a pet to make the neighbors miserable. I'm getting to know my neighbors and getting to know that they're assholes.
Justin Slim Friesen says, that a provincial law? Mike Wolf BLN says, I think you need to start recording these interactions, Jeeps.
Well, I don't know. The guy came out, was walking towards me, and I said, hello, how are you? And he starts bitching about the cats, and, you know, it's illegal to have pets, you know? And I'm like, no, the law's changing. How are you allowed to have pets and we're not allowed to? Yeah, it's just, why can't people just live and let live, you know? Are my cats going into his apartment, pooping all over the place and wrecking stuff? Not that I'm aware of.
Mike Wolf BLN says, that's actually illegal to threaten such things, it's cruelty to animals.
Well, here, you know, basically if you get caught murdering people, they'll let you out in a year or two. So, imagine what you can get away with animals. And even the past couple of weeks, our state-sponsored media was mocking our federal police force, trying to make them look bad so that they get defunded. Anyways, you know, politics is all crap, but, you know, it's like, you know, 1 year, you know, you're not allowed to have cars because there's no parking lot. Then they make a parking lot, but there's only a limited amount of spaces. You're always going to have people complain.
Well, in Spain, a cat is considered part of the family and legally must be taken care of as such.
Well, in Egypt, they're considered gods, so... Just like monkeys in India, I think. There's a Tibet, I forget. And then in places like China, you get to eat cats and dogs. So, man, you know...
Mike Wolf BLN says, cows in India,
Cows in India.
Justin Slim Friesen says. And some places they're considered lunch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said there. And even in the States.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yeah, but they don't eat Western cats.
Oh, somebody updated a screenshot and made me crash.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Was a stand-up com day thing about it. Mike Wolf BLN says. LOL.
So I guess this setup is okay. I didn't have any issues with it. I was kind of forgetting that I was actually on track with other people, since sometimes I practice with the AI. I still got 13 minutes before the race. How long is this race? I think this is a short one. I think this is the 45-minute race. Ooh, the sun's going down again. You know what that means. Same thing happened to me yesterday. During practice and quali, the sun was going down, and halfway through the race, it was nighttime. This is another dangerous track for the first lap. Actually, the Paul Rickards was pretty good for the first lap. I mean, after the start of the race, there's a lot of straights, mostly, before getting to the hairpin. So you can put some good distances between you and the GT3s. But this one, shortly after the start of the race, you get to that hairpin, and then all the GTs come in, wreck you. Yeah, I think that the setup for this car on this track is okay. I think I'm good to go for the race. But there's not much lighting here at night. I don't know how that's gonna go. I kind of feel like I shouldn't do it. Something's telling me not to do this race. Okay, so quick bathroom
Mike
break.
Wolf BLN says. The one I sent is about dogs, but she did one about cats also XD.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's a little bit too far, that they're family members. I get it, but if you consider them family members, then if you pass away, can you put in your will and testament that you leave all your money to your pet? That makes no sense.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yes. Mike Wolf BLN says, I didn't make the law and I don't live in Spain, but Jews though was an interesting approach to animal rights.
Yep, cat, you're gonna have to leave me my chair here. Okay, my cat does not want to give me my chair. He wants to share the chair. He's like, look, I left you a little bit of room here on the corner of the chair. Hmm? My cat is so nice. It's a good thing that he's not the one riding up my wheel. Here's 99 cents for me, and here's a penny for you. 7 minutes. Franco Yvonne. Jim Jam. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading these names. These names are silly. Anybody that we recognize? Nope, nobody. Nobody's playing at this time of day. Okay, so I'm gonna be again in the split with all these warnings. I was actually surprised because my day yesterday was with somebody that has been problematic for me. I think I've reported him once or twice already in the past 6 months. And he still has his very red warning badge. But he actually ran a very clean race yesterday. I was surprised. He was really fast as well. This makes no sense, though. Whoa, that's a lot of Brazilians here.
Mike Wolf BLN says, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, no, this was one guy that was doing stuff on purpose. You know, kind of stuff like blocking the pits or waiting for you to come around the track to ram into you, kind of a thing. Or just cannonball run into everybody at the beginning of the race. And yesterday he just ran his race and was extremely fast. He finished first. One of two drivers that actually lapped me. And strangely enough, I finished third. So both of them lapped the guy that came in third place. But let's update this because something's telling me that there should be more people in this race. Whoa. Ooh, a lot of Canadians all of a sudden. There's even two GPs. Lots of Canadians, lots of Brazilians. That's weird. A few Americans. Ooh, Cobra's here. Kenneth Portis. See, it's a good thing that I refreshed the list. There are some people here that we know.
Justin Slim Friesen says. Hey. I saw KP.
Yep. Indeed we did. I don't think we'll be in the same split, though. There's only 2 splits, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be put in with the
Rodman
silvers.
Jair says. How we doing tonight?
Hey, good evening, Dale. Just noticing some famous drivers here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be in the same split, which is a good thing. I'm definitely not worthy. Look at all the silvers here, though. Actually, I might be put in with a couple of silvers since there's not that many bronze here. Dang, I need to work on my rating, which I really hate doing.
Rodman Jair says. Looks like a decent amount of hypers signed up.
For this one, yeah. Well, that's what we've been saying lately. There's a lot more hypercar drivers than there used to be. Now there seems to be more hypercars than GT3s.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Rating is just a number.
Well, yes and no. It kind of reflects that Ken is like twice as good as me. It's easily. It's not just a number, it reflects the skill level. I can't race faster, but I can race smarter. That's my, that's my thing. Which loosely translate into me being lucky enough to avoid all the accidents in the first couple of laps. So it all boils down to luck. Okay, well, we're going to join. Not going to do the practice. I'll go around the track for the qualifyings just cause I'll be bored of staying in the garage and not qualifying. I'd rather qualify last than not at all. Yeah, a lot more people signed up here than in the ZRL tournament this season. Last I looked, there was like only 2 people there. And Paul, I don't know if Paul's going to be like last season, but he can't always attend every single race. So, car setup. Okay. Did it load up my thing? It should have. I'll have to put on some wet tires. Ooh, so there's not many people here. 10 people in this race, so 5 hypercars and 5 GTs. For the second split, really? And I'm stuck with all the red badges. 3 red badges out of 5. Oh, man. Okay. This is gonna be different. How long is this race? 40 minutes? Okay. Not as bad as Rickard's. That was a long race yesterday. And this is almost a joke. I'm glad they kind of fixed it though. Because there was a time where there'd only be like one or two hypercars or one or two GTs. And the race doesn't count if you don't have five. But this is pushing the limits. This makes no sense. There's actually more people here than in the last race of Trackalicious. Trackalicious was even worse than ZRL. There was only 5 people total in the last race. Maybe a lot of people really hate Bahrain. That's my take on things. Okay. Let's get to qualifying.
Justin Slim Friesen says. And what's the deal with the 75% VE? I either don't understand it, or it didn't work in your last race.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. But I also saw that last week's races were also at the 75%. So it's not something that they started this week. Having said that, I should have paid attention to... why is my energy only 50%?
Dollarod Manjayer says. It's so hard to find folks who will actually show up every single week and treat it like they're actually simulating motorsport.
Yeah, I should have looked when I was in practicing earlier to see if my VE or my, 64 liters is the maximum I can actually put into this car.
Dollarod Manjayer says. You don't get to skip a week if you're a real driver. LOL.
I'm not sure about that, Dale. Because if there was F1 racing, maybe Verstappen couldn't do the 24 hours. So yes, he'd still be racing, but he wouldn't be racing with his team due to prior commitments. But hey, we're all human. Sometimes your kids has a play in school, or you got a family emergency or whatnot. So yes, you're trying to simulate real racing, but people have real lives apparently. Not everybody can be like me. And then some, power outages, internet outages, anything can happen.
Dollarod says. Yeah, real life is one thing. I'm talking about the folks who skip cause of the weather or they don't like a circuit LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says. Sim life matters.
Sim life matters.
Justin Slim Friesen says. 100% Dale.
It's still a game. Well, for me it is. I enjoy it. I do it because I want to enjoy it.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Is only game, why you mad?
Why you mad? Well, because I don't know. You know, on one hand you have...
Justin Slim Friesen says, my only problem with guys missing due to having a life is jealousy, lol.
Yeah, like my neighbor who's really mad that I have
Rodman Jr.
cats.
says, lol. Mike Wolf BLN says, lol. Justin Slim Friesen says, Mike, man, I miss him, lol. Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, was funny guy.
But then you have people that want to simulate racing, but then they don't want any rain. Or if they have rain, then, you know, you need to have the most traction possible. They don't want to play with diabolical conditions. And then you have people like me that don't want to play if there's no tire warmers.
Mike Wolf BLN says, simulate life.
Whoa, I need to stay on the track. This is qualifying. Well, apparently there's only 2 people qualifying, really? I'm gonna be stuck on the front row again, which I really hate. Because I know that I'm not fast, so everybody's gonna pass me. I drive a Corvette, but I don't know how to drive GTs anymore. Apparently it's a fast car. I'm actually seeing a lot of YouTube channels recommending the Corvette. Just because driving the Lexus is so predictable and boring, so if you want to have fun in a sim racing game, take a car that's challenging. Okay, I think I did enough qualifying.
Mike Wolf BLN says, apparently the Corvette is broke in op ATM. Mike Wolf BLN says, broken.
Oh, there's a lot of cars.
Rodman Jr. says, try it, lol.
I've tried it. Actually, you know, I was trying it out and I'm like, hey, I like this car. It's pretty stable. And people are like, yeah, I'm not really a good or fast
Justin
driver.
Slim Friesen says, it feels much better now. I'll say that.
I remember back in the day, I used to say it was a very stable car. It's just because I don't have the skills to push any car. When you're going around the track at grandma speeds, I guess pretty much any car is safe and predictable. We need more people to play in North America. Worst part of it is that LMU seems to be hinting at trying to get some more Asian people playing. So that's only going to help us if we play around 3 o'clock in the morning.
Justin Slim Friesen says, but it feels unrealistically light. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just odd.
I don't know. I didn't drive it enough last week. Was it last week that I tried it out again? Or 2 weeks ago? I only did a couple of laps with it, so I don't really remember much. I'm trying. I can't get used to GTs anymore.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I might be in North America in a few weeks. Clayton just sent me an NDA to set up their new business infrastructure and tech stuff. Mike Wolf BLN says, America even LOL.
Really? Okay. Cool. We're in North America because it's quite a big continent, you know. It's like I remember chatting with a girl on the internet,
Mike Wolf BLN says, Yep.
and she's like, "Oh, I can go and visit you." She was in the Philippines or somewhere, and she's like,
Mike Wolf BLN says, Virginia.
"Yeah, that's pretty far." I was talking with a girl from Philippines, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to visit my dad. I could go and visit you." And I'm like, "Where's your dad?" And she's like, "In Los Angeles." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think that you'll be able to come over and see me." It's like completely at.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Lul.
Oh, I need to change my tires here, not to make the same mistake I always make, right?
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, it's like 5 minutes away, ah ha 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 ha.
Yeah, in her head, North America is like a small country, you know? Not like you can hop into a Uber or a taxi and come over. I think I'm gonna have too much fuel for this, but it's all good. I mean, I'm gonna be slow one ways or another, right? Now it's telling me I got 99% too much VE.
Mike Wolf BLN says, well, on my way home I might go to see my girl in Colombia. Smiley face.
Yeah.
Justin Slim Friesen says, choose a quick 75-hour drive. See ya soon.
Oh, okay. You're doing a 70-hour quick race. See you soon. Oh, yeah.
Mike Wolf BLN says, ah ha ha ha.
Yes, I know I'm letting everybody go. I don't want the bad drivers behind me. Fortunately, I don't want them to wipe out in front of me and hit them either, so I just feel it's safer here.
Mike Wolf BLN says, PH humans.
God, I hate cold tires. Oh, the two cars hit each other and get some damage. Oh. Hopefully he doesn't do a dangerous rejoin and gets hit by a couple of GTs. Oh, DNF already. Okay. Ooh, another one maybe? Oh, you got back on the track, I think. Okay, well there's one car that I did not see there.
Justin Slim Friesen says, I step away for a minute in your P2? Want me to step away again? LOL.
I don't know what happened yesterday, but you stepped away and I finished on the podium, so... Like I was talking to you. Ooh, there he is. Let him go through. How are these guys so fast? Like, I see them crash out all the time, but... How are they so fast? Is it because I really have too much VE on my car that makes me so slow? And no, I know that I'm a slow driver, but...
Mike Wolf BLN says, no.
I'm just...
Dollarod Jair says, it's mostly the basics.
Okay.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yup.
Don't worry, you're not bruising my ego.
Dollarod Jair says, let the lap time do the ego bruising LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says, E comes and E goes.
Yeah, it's all Justin's fault. If he hadn't come back...
Slim Friesen says, shots fired LOL. Dollarod Jair says, LOL Mike. Mike Wolf BLN says, LOL.
Yes, I know, I need a lot more practice. I'm just a very, 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 very slow learner. I don't care. We all have our limits. I'm fine with mine.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Jeeps, you are getting better, and that's clear.
Yeah, I'm probably racing against people that picked up the game a week ago. It's all good. But yes, I'm much better than when I first got into a hypercar 2 months ago. And as I say that, I go off track. When are we going to catch up with the GTs? Guess not for a while, right? There's so few cars on this track. Maybe all 5 GTs got into an accident and they're all DNF.
Mike Wolf BLN says, the GTs are about half a lap ahead of you.
Okay, well, that ain't so
Mike
bad.
Wolf BLN says, half a lap.
Oh, halfway through the race, I'll pass them. And then maybe again towards the end of the race. Okay. Well, 2 and 3 are pretty close to one another. And 3 is faster than 2, so he's going to try to overtake. So they might get into a scrape. I think that's what happened earlier, too. Very cold here again today. Yesterday we had a nice 20 degrees day, and today it went down to 4. It's supposed to go down to -5 overnight. Oh, I spoke with a guy from New York today. Had a video conference call with a guy from New York. And he was even saying that they haven't had spring yet today, this year. And Ken was talking about a tornado the other day. Like, a week ago I was still looking at snow on the ground. But probably happy that we don't have tornadoes here. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't check though. My tire temperatures. I don't have enough blanking. My tires are not warm enough. They're never gonna warm up on this track here. The track is still very cold and it's not gonna get warm. Dang it. Needs more.
Mike Wolf BLN says, no risk full push.
No risk full push yet. No, I'm not gonna risk it. Okay, I'm just getting used to the car on the track, and but my tires are still way too cold, and they're not warming up. They're not gonna warm up. Like, I've rewatched some people that drive very fast on this track and see what they do and stuff, and tried to do the same thing. My nervous system just won't cope with being on the limit. I'm gonna die of a heart attack. But if the server would have been full of other players, I'm pretty sure I could have found somebody more along the lines of...
Dollarod Jair says, this is why I stick with GT3S or slower LOL.
Well, see, that's what I thought at first too.
Dollarod Jair says, My brain software ain't calibrated to these high speeds.
Whoa, dude. Don't scare me like that. See, initially I was like that. I like the slower cars. And then I get into a P2 and I was like, oh man, this is fast. Then I try a hypercar and I was like, oh man, this is way too fast for me. I can't do this. And then last season,
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, the hypercars on some tracks are intense.
but even in a GT, I mean, I'm slow and stuff, so. So last season, when we had the choice of going into hypercars, I'm like, everybody, well, you had a couple of, you had like 2 or 3 people that were very vocal, wanting
Dalrod Manjayar
hypercars.
says, I like the door banging and long battles of really slow cars.
Door banging, which all these games seems to discourage. But yeah, you had a couple of vocal people that wanted enough people to do hypercars, so since I'm not a major threat either in either categories, it's not like the GTs will be missing me or anything. I went into hypercars and I love these cars once you get used to them. But also I will say that having some load cell pedals really helps to drive these cars. The difference is night and day. Finally catching up to some GTs. And even though I'm the slowest, I still get to pass cars, so I'm happy. Ooh, that other guy did not finish either. Whoa, what happened there to him? That either looked like a cat jumped onto him, or his wheelbase or controller disconnected, reconnected. Like one of my USB hubs would do that every time my fridge compressor would start. It was some kind of electro interference that was knocking out my USB hub. It only lasts for a fraction of a second, but man, when you're trying to do stuff. Needless to say.
Mike Wolf BLN says, ah, the joys of AC Power XD.
Yeah, it's like my pedals came with a ground wire just in case my pedals had a electromagnetic interference problem. But they've been working flawlessly for me, so no need for it. So you see, I wasn't much of a competition to these guys. And somehow they still felt like they had
Mike
to go.
Wolf BLN says, in the USA/Canada there is a lot of ground issues.
Really? And you guys don't have that? Which I'd be surprised.
Dalarodman Jair says, there sure are LOL.
What do you mean
Mike
by
Wolf
that,
BLN
Dale?
says, in EU we have 3 pole plugs.
Well, duh, so do we here. But I agree with you, most electrical stuff might have 2, like USB chargers and
Dalarodman
stuff.
Jair says, I used to work for a utility company and would have a ground wire day every week or so. Mike Wolf BLN says, positive, neutral and ground.
Yeah, we have that too. Our fridges, the PCs, but the monitors might be 2-prong. A lot of my capture cards and splitters and stuff, they're only two poles.
Dalarodman Jair says, spent the entire day fixing the ground wiring of homes.
Is it really that bad? I thought North America was pretty reliable. I mean, when you see places like, I don't know, Mexico or India or stuff where you see like 20 jumper cables on the same post. It's like scary. We're not that bad.
Justin Slim Friesen says, electricity is like magic to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's made from gnomes that live in my wall.
Somebody received too many tasers in his life. What have you done, Justin? What have you done? Ooh, little bit of grass. Not good.
Mike Wolf BLN says, electricity is simple, it wants to go home and ground is home.
That's what she said. Yeah, I prefer the gnome in the walls.
Mike Wolf BLN says, there's no place like home, clicks heels together 3 times. Justin Slim Friesen says, then gets hit by lightning. Justin Slim Friesen says, LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says, ah ha ha ha.
I thought it was a tornado, but whatever.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Toasty ND tanned. Mike Wolf BLN says. Well, she was hit by a house.
Ew. Alright. That explains a lot of things. How many GT cars are in the race though? 4? Okay.
Mike Wolf BLN says. 5.
Really? Okay. All 5 GTs are still in the race. You sure about that? You sure about that?
Mike Wolf BLN says. 5 green dots on the track map moving.
Oh, that's how you can tell. Okay. Oh, at the video conference today, they had me read stuff on the screen. I had to put my glasses on. It was really important stuff that I needed to know. I don't like having my glasses on because then I get reflections. Can't afford some better glasses.
Mike Wolf BLN says. No glasses, I might as well type with my gloves on, LOL.
Why do you think I put all these other overlays here with such big numbers and stuff so I can see them?
Justin Slim Friesen says. Just reading glasses, or prescription.
I can't see from afar. So I can read stuff at this distance, but 2-3 feet away starts being far away from me.
Both. I overworked, my right eye is blind and left.
Yeah, me too. A couple of years ago, some tenant put me in a coma, and I had lost 50% of my eyesight. Came back. Most of it came back. But still, I see it's not what it used to be. And then on the other eye, I have a scar. So there's always a patch that keeps moving around everywhere I look. You get used to these things, but it means I'm can't be an F-16 pilot.
Justin Slim Friesen says, sounds like a good dude.
I can always play DCS. Probably be a good as...
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, for me my left eye is like Tay, middle is all blurry.
And how do you manage to race with such a rating, you? Dang. And the guy is legally blinded.
Mike Wolf BLN says, even with glasses.
Guy's legally blind and he drives 5 times faster than I do. Ooh, blue flag. Is the leader catching up to me already?
Mike Wolf BLN says, imagine if I had 2 okay eyes. Mike Wolf BLN says, LOL.
Well, imagine I was 30 years younger, boy. 30 years ago, I'd give everybody a run for their money, but not today, not anymore.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, +1, I'm 46 Jeeps.
Well, I could even go back 40 years and still be in my gaming prime. Be a teenager. I'd like the experience, but I'd have all the reflexes in the world. Ooh.
Mike Wolf BLN says, 32 year back I had both eyes working normally.
Yeah, it's not fun getting old. Although I say that, but I'm really enjoying sim racing. Wish we had all this gear 30, 40
Justin
years
Slim Friesen
ago.
says, don't really need reflexes for racing. It's mostly proactive, not reactive anyways.
No. You need the
Mike Wolf
reflexes.
BLN says, LOL.
You need the reflexes, you need the coordination.
Justin Slim Friesen says, that's why so many of us are 40 plus.
No, you need some hand-eye coordination. And what was Dale calling it the other day when you work on the steering wheel? Saw? Seesaw? Kind of feeling where the grip is and going after it, and ooh.
Justin Slim Friesen says, you need a bit. but it's far more proactive.
Why am I losing so much grip now all of a sudden? The tires are still very good. I'm just not paying attention. I guess I got fixated on the car in front of me instead of the track. Ooh! Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, I'm driving like a drunken bastard. Nah. I'm scaring the bejesus out of this GT driver. Like, is this guy gonna hit me?
Mike Wolf BLN says, 2 Alps to go.
Yeah, it's more of an endurance thing with my own self. Can I stay concentrated for the amount of time? Can I still feel my right arm? Not really. Still able to shift and all that. That's a good sign. Although I don't know what happened yesterday in my race. Justin's like, you probably hit both paddles at the same time, but you go through one corner and then when you accelerate out of it, you flip the other one, but it went into neutral. And then I had to click it a couple of times for it to start changing gears again. It actually felt more like lag. Like I was trying to shift and it didn't.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yes.
It kind of felt more like lag than me clicking on both buttons, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel what my my arms are doing and whatnot, so.
Mike Wolf BLN says, if you pull both pedals at same time, LMU has it mapped to neutral by default.
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's by default, but that's what I set it to. But yesterday I went through, like, you know, you downshift, you go through a corner, come out.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I turned that off and have a button mapped for neutral in LMU. Mike Wolf BLN says, it is by default.
Okay. Well, I had to set it up that way in 1.1 when I first started playing, because it wasn't. But yes, I agree with you, that happens. But yesterday, I'm going into a corner, I downshift. You come out of the corner, you want to upshift.
Justin Slim Friesen says, so did I Jeeps.
And you come out of the corner, you know, you go into a corner, you downshift. You get out of the corner, you want to upshift, but it was stuck in neutral. Like, I don't know in what gear I was, but it went to neutral and then I had to...
Mike Wolf BLN says, for me it pissed me off too many times, so I turned it off.
Oh, well, it never bothered me much. It happens like once or twice. Up until yesterday, apparently. That's why I kind of feel like it was lag. I don't know if I was in third gear or second gear. It went into neutral and I couldn't get it up anymore. I had to smack it a couple of times. Ooh, finished. I survived. Podium finished. Podium finish. There you go. See, I'm not fast, but I stay out of accidents and it pays off. Except I'm still...
Justin Slim Friesen says, I rewatched. It went for second straight to N. Mike Wolf BLN says, Kerb podium.
So see, that's the thing. I was trying to go from second to third. It went into neutral and I kept smacking it a couple of times for it to start going again. Like, yes, I might have accidentally hit maybe both paddles, but the way that I drive is I slow down, I do the corner, and then I accelerate out again. It's not like I'm driving at the limit, always upshifting and downshifting.
So both pedals were triggered is most likely.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't drive at the limit. So I either do one, do the corner, and then do the other.
Justin Slim Friesen says, 100%.
But it's possible, but sometimes I don't have the feeling, so it could be, but I don't really know. I couldn't figure out what happened there, so. For me, it felt like it was lag. Like the game didn't know what I was doing anymore. If that makes any sense. But hey, guess what?
Mike Wolf BLN says, I'm too used to erasing as it has downshift protection and have my fingers on the pedals all the time.
I don't know, I just wish that there was a park. So when you go into the pits, you can go to the bathroom, come back, and the car is not rolling downhill.
Justin Slim Friesen says, same here, Mike.
I wish there was a park. Or a handbrake or something. So the only two that did not finish are these two. Okay. Survey says...
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, that's so funny.
No, it's not. Ooh, I actually lost a position, yes, because I qualified second. Okay. Ooh, main thing is that I gained some driver ranking. Yay. Hey, but for a short time there, I was in second. Well, I'm not disappointed with my race. I'm happy with the results. I finished another race.
Mike Wolf BLN says, rolled back in a Coda 4HR race one time when I went to pee in LMU, ended up getting DQED.
Well, I don't get how that happened because the pits are pretty flat at Coda. But the first time it happened to me, I was on the endurance version of Spa. And my garage was on the other side of the hill. And I was so confused.
Justin Slim Friesen says, LOL.
I was so confused. I didn't even know if the pit actually happened. I didn't know if they actually fueled up my car or anything.
Mike Wolf BLN says, it has an uphill if you're at the front.
Yes, it does. It's kind of flat. Actually, I think it kind of goes down and then back up. I don't know. I don't leave the car in neutral. I don't tend to park, but...
Justin Slim Friesen says, alright guys, I'll catch you later.
Yep, time to end the stream, so I'll be back tomorrow afternoon, folks. Thank you all for watching. Much appreciated.
Later, Justin.
Later, Justin. Later, Mike. You guys have a good one, and until the next time.
Mike Wolf BLN says, peace.